Hi guys, today we'll be analyzing which marksman has the highest damage per second, or DPS. And to assist us during this video, I've asked Mr. Steak to help us. So Mr. Steak volunteered to take damage, while we use each hero to go full power 10 seconds long, to see what DPS each hero has. We'll be using a full offensive build, which I'll show at each hero for reference. Let's not waste any more of Mr. Steak's time and let's start the comparison video. We start with Bruno and let's see how bad he can hurt Mr. Steak. Bruno has his passive as well as his first skill to increase his DPS. So Bruno has a DPS of 5.4k, which is not bad at all. Take note that his DPS might be higher if you already start with 10 passive stacks, as well as multiple balls from his first skill. Next we have Miya, which also has some increased DPS because of her passive, first skill and ultimate. Let's see how strong she actually is. So 7.2k damage per second, which is significantly higher than Bruno. Miya can even hit multiple targets at once because of her first skill, making her deal some serious damage. So now it's Clint's turn to hurt Mr. Steak. I'm curious what kind of DPS he has, since Clint is known for his long range attacks. 3.9k DPS for Clint, which isn't that high. But like I said, Clint is a hero who can just deal a few times high damage from a great distance. And he has a second skill which is perfect to escape, which makes him a bit less fragile than Miya. Next up, Beatrix, and I've chosen the Grey gun to test her damage. Well, the other ones can deal sufficient damage as well. I'm pretty sure this gun has the highest DPS and is used the most often. 4.4k damage per second, which is a decent amount. It's not as high as Bruno or Miya, but still not bad at all. Then we have Layla, which is a really popular hero, especially in lower ranks. She can deal increased damage based on how far away from the target she stands. So we have a DPS of 6.6k, which is right between Miya and Bruno, giving her the current second spot. 6.6k is a lot, especially from a large range. Too bad Layla has the worst mobility of all marksmen and is therefore killed quite easily. Then it's Sun-Shin's turn to deal damage to Mr. Steak, and this round he's quite lucky, since I'm not the best at playing this hero. With my pathetic skills, we could only bring him up to 3k DPS, which is not a lot compared to the other ones. Maybe you can do better. Please test it and leave a comment with the DPS you can get at this hero. Then we have Moskov, a very promising hero because of his first skill, which increases his attack speed. 6.6k DPS, which is a bit more than Layla, giving Moskov the second place right now. This amount is actually really nice, since Moskov has an escape skill and he can deal damage behind the main target. Especially with the latest update in mind, Moskov can be a great hero to use. Next we have Roger, which in my opinion is more a fighter. However, Natan gave him the Marksman label as well, so let's have a look at his DPS. 5.1k DPS, very nice. However, we mainly used his melee form, which isn't that fair in this comparison video. So let's move on to our next hero. Karrie can deal some serious true damage, and if you build her correctly, she has an insane attack speed. Let's see what she brings us. So on average, she deals 5k damage per second on Mr. Steak, which is a decent amount for her. She's especially strong against heroes with a lot of HP or defense, since her passive deals true damage based on the max HP of the target. Then we have Kimmy, our magic-based marksman, and I wasn't sure how to build her, but I hope it's fine to test her damage. A DPS of 4k, not that high actually. but Kimmy can hit multiple heroes with her first skill active. And she's quite mobile since she doesn't stop when using basic attack, just like her next hero. Irithel is next up on our list, and she's a true late game hero, which is mobile, while dealing lots of damage. But let's test how much damage exactly. 4.6k DPS, which in my opinion is not bad at all. Combined with her great movement speed and ability to hit multiple targets at once, it's just a fine pick right now. Then we have Lesley, who has the chance to show Mr. Steak what she can do. Lesley is not really a high DPS hero, but rather a high burst damage marksman.
One shot, one kill, one shot.
3.2k DPS, which isn't that high. But you need to take into account that she deals a lot of true damage and has a long range. By the way, if you want to master her, I got a complete guide about Lesley. Link is in the description. Next we have Claude, who has the chance to deal damage together with Dexter. Claude gets increased attack speed from his first skill, and also his second skill can help to deal damage. Nevertheless, Claude only deals 3.3k damage per second, which isn't that high. However, he's a master at dealing damage to multiple targets with his ultimate, which makes him great in teamfights. Then we have Hanabi, a quite popular marksman. We all know that Hanabi's damage lays in the bouncing effect, which enables her to hit multiple targets at once. But let's see what kind of damage she can deal to only one target. A DPS of 3.4k, not that high, but I think it's quite okay for Hanabi because of her passive. Especially combined with her shield and being immune to CC, I think this is a decent score for Hanabi. Next we have Granger, which we often see as a jungler, and he deals high damage with basic attack, but they are quite slow. His first skill deals high damage, while his second skill increases his damage of his basic attack. 3.6k DPS. It's not that high, but Granger can deal some serious damage with his combo, instead of having really high DPS. Next in line is Wanwan, a very mobile marksman with a deadly ultimate. But mobility doesn't play a role in this comparison video, so let's see how bad she can hurt Mr. Steak. A DPS of only 2.9k, which is the lowest until now. I didn't expect Wanwan to score that high, but this is really bad. Of course, you need to keep in mind that her ultimate and mobility make her hard to kill. Brody is next on our list. He deals some serious damage with his basic attack, but his attack speed isn't that great, and I'm therefore really wondering what kind of damage he deals. I think something is wrong with the DPS calculation, but if we divide his total damage by 10 seconds, we've got a DPS of 4.6k, which isn't bad. Brody can deal high amounts of damage, and he just have to give his target a few stacks before unleashing his ultimate and finishing the target. Natan is next, and he can't wait to show what he's worth against Mr. Steak, because his basic attack acts like a boomerang. He also gets extra attack speed from his passive, which further increases his DPS. 8.2k DPS, which is the highest of all marksmen right now. This DPS is really impressive, but we aren't finished yet. Next up, Edith. I think she's more a tank than a marksman, but let's not discriminate her and let her join our comparison. 3.5k DPS, which is not even that bad. Especially with her CC skills and high defense, it's a great score. But take note that a big part of her damage was tested with her ultimate active, which of course is not always the case. Only 3 more heroes left, and Melissa is one of them. She has some increased attack speed from her first skill, so let's see what she brings to the table. So in 10 seconds she has a DPS of 5.2k, which is not bad, since she can also hit multiple enemies when she links them through her duel. But we have 2 more interesting ones to go. Ixia also gets a chance to destroy Mr. Steak. Well, she has some odd mechanics. She might deal a decent amount of damage. So let's see what she brings. A total of 3.9k DPS, which is a bit less than average. The cool thing about this hero is that her ultimate adds a lot of range, allowing her to make kills from a far distance. The very last hero, or should I say heroes, are Popol and Kupa. Will unleash their full power on Mr. Steak, so let's see what damage they bring. 4.7k DPS during the 10 seconds. Together with the fact that Popol can use Kupa to take the hits, I think it's not a bad score at all. So we now tested all Marksman heroes, and if you wrote all scores down, you already know how our list looks like. But for the people who didn't, let's go over the top 5. So at the 5th spot we find Bruno with a DPS of 5.6k. Bruno can get up to 20% extra crit chance, deal increased basic attack damage with his first skill, and his ultimate decreases the physical defense of the target. All those things combined making reach the 5th spot. Well, he also has an escape skill, which makes him mobile as well. At the 4th spot we have Layla with a DPS of a bit less than 6.6k. So she can deal high damage from a big distance with her basic attack, which is good, since she has no escape skill at all. While she can deal tons of damage, she can also be killed very easily, and you should keep this in mind. Then Moskov took the 3rd spot with a bit more than 6.6k DPS. So Moskov gets increased attack speed from his first skill, and as long as he uses basic attack, the cooldown of this skill gets reduced, giving him a permanent attack speed boost. Moskov has an escape skill, he can stun his target and has really high DPS, which is a great combination. So then we have Miya as the marksman with the 2nd highest damage with a DPS of 7.2k. Miya can also deal damage to multiple enemies because of her first skill, which makes her a real damage cannon. However, the only way to escape is her ultimate, which makes her not the best in terms of mobility. Nevertheless, her DPS might make up for it. So the hero with the highest DPS is Natan, which I would really not expect. He deals 8.2k damage per second, which almost makes him like an assassin. Natan is not the easiest hero, but can be a quite strong pick. He has a CC skill, deals damage twice with his basic attack, and has decent mobility. Especially in team fights, Natan might be a true asset to your team. So now you know which marksman heroes deal the highest damage. Remember that damage alone is not what makes a hero strong, but it's rather the combination of abilities which makes a hero powerful in certain situations. I would also love to hear which role I should test next. Just leave a comment which one you would like to see tested. Or don't be shy to suggest another video topic, which I might go over. Also, if you want videos on a regular basis that help you to improve your knowledge and skills in Mobile Legends, you can subscribe to the channel and I'll make it my mission to improve your abilities. As always, thank you for watching and I'll be seeing you again in the next guide.